Donald Trump spoke last hour from the Oval Office. This Wednesday, he's expected to sign new executive orders, as Evan was mentioning, on tariffs. CBC's Richard Madan joins us now live. And Richard, in about 32 hours or so, we're expecting more tariffs from the U.S. Did we get any more insight into what exactly that might look like?
Yeah, hey, in 32 hours, possibly sooner, at least that from President Trump. We didn't get a complete picture, although that essentially fits with the president's tariff strategy, keeping the world guessing. But President Trump did confirm once again that he plans to push ahead by imposing tariffs on all of America's trading partners around the world, including Canada, on Wednesday in what he brands as Liberation Day. So this is, of course, is when his so-called reciprocal tariffs kick in. The U.S. says it'll match the tariff amounts foreign countries charge for U.S. goods to sell in their countries. But Trump is now signaling his reciprocal tariffs may not be as severe as advertised, and some of America's trading partners may be pleasantly surprised, he says. Take a listen.
We are going to be very nice by comparison to what they were. The numbers will be lower than what they've been charging us, and in some cases maybe substantially lower, but we sort of have a world obligation perhaps. But we're going to be very nice. Relatively speaking, we're going to be very kind.
Okay, so we'll see how all this rolls out. But remember, these reciprocal tariffs are in addition to the other stacks of tariffs Trump has vowed to impose. You'll recall he plans to reinstate those 25% tariffs on all imports from Canada and Mexico. He briefly paused last month, linked to fentanyl. Plus, there's the other 25% tariff on steel and aluminum. Those remain. So how much Trump will hit Canada with these reciprocal tariffs is unclear for now. Trump also mentioned the looming tariffs on cars and car parts. Now, he's since dismissed warnings down here in the States that the price of a new car could jump by several $1,000s because of tariffs. And he now claims the big three automakers have been scrambling to move parts back into the U.S. to avoid being hit by these new surcharges. Listen to this.
If you look at Canada and Mexico, they were driving hundreds of thousands of cars into the market because they avoid the tariffs by doing it before the tariffs go on, which would be Wednesday. And I saw some of your shows where cars are lined up for miles and miles. Some of them didn't have fenders on them. Some of them didn't have the roof on yet. They're driving it here brand new. They're driving it in because they want to avoid the tariffs.
So, Ian, I have not seen any reports or video or any post to back up the president's claims. But the reality is, you look at markets, you hear from investors, and you see the consumer confidence data all reflecting the growing unease these tariffs will have on the economy and inflation. And many are anxiously bracing for these new tariffs, which Trump suggests could be announced as early as tomorrow night, but likely in the Rose Garden on Wednesday.
Richard, Trump says so many things about so many things, it's hard to keep track. And so on the weekend, he mentioned in an interview the possibility of running for a third term, which of course is constitutionally barred. What did he have to say more recently about that?
Yeah, and he's joked about it before, but yesterday Trump told NBC he wasn't joking about running for a third term, saying, in his words, many people have urged him to do it, but Trump has somewhat been downplaying it ever since. Now, as you mentioned, the U.S. Constitution limits presidents to serve just 2 terms, but one theory Trump himself has floated is that Vice President J.D. Vance runs in 2028, Trump becomes his running mate, and should Vance win, they pull an old switcheroo and Trump takes over. Now, while constitutional experts say that in itself is a non-starter, Trump says it's one of many options his team is exploring. Take a listen to what Trump said earlier tonight.
They do say there's a way you can do it, but I don't know about that, but I have not looked into it. I want to do a fantastic job. We have 4 years, just about, almost close to 4 years. Time is flying, but it's still close to 4 years.
Yeah, so Trump will be 82 years old by the end of his term. And as we've noted off the top, he's mused about this before, often disguised as a joke. But he told NBC News he's serious. And while some may brush this off as nonsense, this is alarming constitutional experts and critics who say this smacks of authoritarianism by a president who tried to overturn the 2020 election that he lost to Joe Biden. So clearly Trump igniting the speculation on his own time. And obviously he has 4 years to go, but we'll see just how serious he is in the months and years ahead.
Yeah, it's a really good point, though, about the election fraud, because he convinced a lot of people, including some very kind of up until then serious, lawyers and political candidates, to agree to what was not true, that he said the election was stolen. So he seems to have incredible powers of persuasion, alarmingly. Richard, thank you.
You bet. Thanks, Ian.